So, I have been playing Minecraft for a very long time, since even before anvils and horses were added. But for a game that's been around for this long and has had as many updates as this one, you would really expect the game to be much more polished than it is now, both in terms of basic features like quality of life things and performance and visuals, so many things like that. At this point in 2025, I have really come to love modded Minecraft. I don't mean massive mods that change the entire structure of the basic gameplay loop, but rather just games that make the experience feel a little bit more polished, introduce a bunch of quality of life features, and make the performance a little more up to scratch for what you would expect in a game like this. So for this silly little video, I just want to go over some of my favorite mods and how they make the game better. So first of all, of course, as I mentioned, performance mods. I'm running a couple very high intensity mods and this shaders pack, and yet I'm getting, I don't know, around 40 FPS, which, isn't that good, but again, the shaders do take up a lot. If I turn off shaders, then my FPS jumps up all the way to 100 or so, and this is in an area of my world where there's a decent amount of stuff going on. But anyways, these performance mods just make the game so much nicer to play. Then, of course, I mentioned the shaders. Minecraft really doesn't look as good as you might expect. Like, this is what it looks like without shaders, and the game is kind of ugly. The textures are just very bland, the lighting is not interesting, and just effects that make the game look like a 2025 game. And I know that's kind of the thing with Minecraft, it doesn't look that good, but I don't know, I feel like these shaders, it still feels like Minecraft, but the game is so much better to look at. Then I have a bunch of quality of life features. If I hold down the C button, it zooms in. This mod is called OK Zoomer, which I think is really funny. And by the way, all the mods I use are in one project on Modrinth, and there's a link to view that project in the description, so you can get all the mods that I use. Another mod that I use is Zero's Minimap, or Zero, I don't know how to pronounce it. I had it disabled in the beginning of this video, but you can see it in the top left. Having a minimap is just really nice for quality of life. The thing I mainly use it for is keeping track of where mobs are. Like, if I'm looking for a creeper, it's really nice to just look in the top left and see where there are creepers. And I can hold R to make it big, which is kind of nice. I can make it zoom in and out with these buttons. It's just very nice. You might also notice in the top right and bottom right, I have some extra GUI stuff. This makes it so I can see coordinates wherever I am, the direction I'm facing, and what biome I'm in, as well as the current time in real life. And this is just nice to prevent having to F3 as much. And because when I'm in full screen, you can't see what time it is, so. And that mod is called Better HUD. Next up is pickup notifications. So if I throw a bunch of stuff on the ground, and then I run over and pick it up, you can see in the bottom left all the things that I picked up. And that's really cool. It's not actually that useful, it's just kind of nice, especially if I pick up a bunch of stuff, I can see what it is I picked up. And you also notice when I threw down the stuff, it shows just how long until the items are going to despawn. And it's really cool. Just very helpful. When I pressed F3, you probably also noticed that my F3 menu is not as crazy as it is usually. That is another mod that I really like called Better F3. It just makes the F3 menu a little less claustrophobic. And then of course, the free cam, I already showed that. Free cam is really nice when building, so you can just easily see what you're building from alternate angles. And also, like, if I want to go quickly check on something, I can do that. I really like it for when I'm showing people this world, and I can just zoom over and be like, oh yeah, this is like the farm I made, without having to spend all the time walking there. I can also press a keybind to move my player around, which is not that useful, but it is very fun. Okay, I'm gonna make my way back to my chests, because one of my absolute favorite mods uses chests, or really any containers. And this is mouse tweaks. Basically, I can put items in a chest or container and take them out using my scroll wheel. If I want to like take out exactly 6 logs here, I can just do that by scrolling 6 times. If I want to take out one item, which I do all the time, I can just do that. I use this absolutely all the time. This should just be a vanilla feature. And I don't know why it's not. You can also see that all these containers and things have interesting GUIs. This is a resource pack that is in the description as well. There's just a lot of resource stuff that I use and love all the time. Next up is another one of my favorite mods, and this is inventory move, or inv move. And this just makes it so that while you're in the inventory, you can still move around. And it's really nice because if I'm just like walking downstairs, I can continue to move around while I'm like crafting or managing things in my inventory. You also might have noticed that I have 49 ender pearls in this part of my inventory, which usually would not be possible. This is done via a mod called Sensible Stackables, which basically lets you change stack sizes for specific items. I also use this for music discs, which is so nice because I can just have multiple music discs in the same slot, and it is so useful. This also means that I can do things like put boats and beds in bundles, which you can't usually do, but it's really nice. Like, why shouldn't beds be stackable, you know? Or like, why shouldn't I be able to stack horse armor? There's just no reason for it. Same with like saddles and boats and whatnot. It just makes the game better, IMO. Quick little thing, a mod called Peek. It just lets me look inside of these things, and it also shows a little bit extra info on tools and stuff. There's also very minor quality of life features I have, like a mod called Double Doors that just makes it so when you have two doors together and you click on one of them, it opens both of them. It's really nice. It just, I don't know, it just makes the game a little bit more friendly. There's also a really fun mod that I almost never use, but it's still really fun, called Calc Mod. I wish I could just clear the terminal like this. Anyways, you can do things like calc 6 times 84, and it'll just tell you the answer. Or you could do /calc items to stack, and you could say like, okay, I need 600 items. Okay, that's 9 stacks plus 24. And that's really cool. I think you can do things like nether to overworld conversions, which I've never actually used, but it's still pretty cool. Oh yes, a very useful mod. Is Accurate Block Placement Reborn. So if I grab a bunch of cobblestone and I find a relatively flat area, you can see there how it placed them all perfectly. And the thing didn't happen where it like does stuff like that and like skips one sometimes. And I could just hold down the button and it will place them all perfectly. You can even like run and jump and it'll just place them exactly how you mean to. Oh my gosh, how is it already nighttime again? Time to go sleep. But while we're over here, I can show you my anvil. So a problem with anvils is that things that cost a certain number of levels will always cost that many levels, no matter how many levels you have. So if I grab something like an item tag and I make a name, it'll actually use much less than one full level because it will use the amount of XP that one regular level uses. And basically, this means that you're not going to pay taxes for having too many levels. Like, things are not going to be more expensive just because you have more experience. And that is really nice. For this next one, I need to grab my horse, because this one is horse-related. So if I go ahead and get on Dottie here, and I find some big trees, you can see that I am not getting stuck on the leaves whatsoever. I can even just jump through them. And this is due to Leave Me Alone, or maybe Leave Us in Peace. It's one of the two. It's so nice to just be able to run through a forest and not have to like go around the trees or cut down the trees to go through them. It's just so cool. The other one, I named 2 mods, whichever one is the other one, makes it so that when you cut down a tree, the leaves disappear really fast. They have the same like drops as usual, so you're not going to miss out on your precious saplings, but there we are. It just makes the process much less tedious. Come over here, Dottie. I will admit that a lot of the mods I use do just objectively make the game easier. Like, I have a mod that makes it so I can put infinity and mending on the same bow, when usually that would not be possible. And yeah, that does make the game simply easier, But on the other hand, it makes the game more fun for me. Like, needing two different bows for infinity and mending is just less fun. If I can make the game more fun by doing something as simple as that, I'm gonna frickin' do it. It's the same thing with the tax on levels thing. It makes the game objectively easier, but it just makes it so much nicer, so I don't really care. And let me grab a boat again from this thing. I'll go over the mod that affects the bundle in a minute and show you a super, super nice mod. So you know how, let's say you're driving a boat around and you want to get up here, but you just can't because the boat can't go up slopes. Well, now it can. Well, okay, maybe not this one because the grass is actually lower because it's a path. But if I go to regular grass over here and get in my boat, it'll just slide up the grass. And this is called boat jump. It is so nice. You can just grab a lead and pull the boat up, but that's much more annoying because you have to have a lead and like get out of the boat. This doesn't even like make the game easier. It just makes it less annoying, which I think is pretty much always a good thing. I'm going to turn on commands for a second to turn the weather to rain to show you another mod that I really like, or rather two mods. Particle rain, I think, and rain core. I don't remember if those are the actual names, but they're both rain mods. One of them makes rain look a lot nicer. You can see it's coming down at an angle, and just looks a lot cooler in general. And the other one makes the rain make different sounds depending on what block it's hitting. So if I just run around and stop yapping for a second. You can hear that depending on what block I'm around, it's going to make different noises. And that's so cool. It's just immersion. It's really, really awesome. And before I forget, I want to show you one more inventory mod that I really, really like. And again, this is not all of the mods I use, just some of the more noteworthy ones. It is called Frostbite's Improved Inventory, and it does a bunch of things. One of them is that the bundles now no longer have these massive gaps in between each thing, which is really, really nice. And it pairs well with another improved inventory feature, which is making it so your bundle actually shows all of your items. And this is awesome because the whole point of bundles in Minecraft is that it helps you carry and deal with a larger variety of items in your inventory. But the vanilla cap of 12 that can actually show in the bundle UI at once completely misses the mark. It makes it so much less useful. It just introduces that artificial cap of usefulness for no good reason. Like, this doesn't make a bundle any more powerful. It just makes it so that if you want to access the item that's in the deepest part of the bundle, you don't have to do a bunch of annoying inventory management, which is the problem that bundles are trying to solve in the first place. It just makes the bundle UI so clean, so simple. You can put as many things as you want in there. It is so nice. I can just grab this clock or I can grab this bed. It's perfect. Again, it does not make the game easier. It just makes it less annoying. This mod also has a bunch of other optional features. Like you could see this extra little thing in the bottom right. It shows the 3 inventory spots above the item I'm currently selecting. So if I have stick, stake, and log here, I can hold Alt and scroll to go to cycle between them. And that's really, really nice for absolutely any situation. This is my Silk Touch pickaxe, and this is my Fortune one, and I can cycle between them so easily. I can do the same thing with my axe and sword, or my water bucket and like a potion of healing. I don't know if it's necessarily a vanilla feeling feature, but it's just such quality of life. You can also see whenever I eat, I have a little eating animation. Let me actually show you with some other foods as well. And this is just another one of my visual resource pack thingies. So if I grab an apple, you can see I eat around the core, which is really, really cool. And if I eat a melon slice, I leave the green part alone. It's just, that's how the animation is. And it's really, really cool. Like glow berries, I'll only eat the berry part. And stew, you can actually see that you're drinking out of it. And that's so neat. And you can also see whenever I'm in any kind of inventory screen, my surroundings blur. That is intentional. That is a mod called Blur Plus. And it's just nice. It just makes the game look a little more professional. Oh yes, and smooth scrolling. If you look at my hotbar here as I scroll, it has this like nice little animation, which is really, really nice. And if I go into my creative roller coaster world and go into the inventory, smooth scrolling does this as well. And it's so cool. It just makes it look so much better. We're almost at the end here, but just a couple more that I want to show you. Hidden armor. I can see my skin, but I actually have armor on, and that's really, really cool. What else? Oh yeah, I didn't even show you Distant Horizons. So you see how I can see way into the distance? Yeah, that's Distant Horizons, and it is one of the coolest mods that have ever existed. Like, I can just see everything, and it's so cool. This does eat up a little bit of performance. My FPS would be like 100 higher right now if it weren't for Distant Horizons, but it's totally worth it. Like, doesn't that look so awesome? Oh my gosh. If I go up high, you can just see, like, look how far you can see. It's so cool. And my actual render distance right now is 8. Look at that. This is what Minecraft should look like. It does get a little bit glitchy. If I move away in FreeCam, things will start to break a little bit. But, you know, it's not really meant to pair with FreeCam, so I don't blame it for that. 2 more things. One of them is a mod called Sit. If I click this stair, I will sit on the stair. That's really cute. And the same thing happens with any kind of slab. I can just sit on the slab. That's awesome. And the last mod I want to show you is called Do a Barrel Roll. This mod is so much fun. So in this world, I have an elytra, and I'm wearing it, and I'm gonna go. And it looks normal at first until I start turning. It turns so cool, and I can do a barrel roll. It just, look at this. This is so much fun. Wearing an elytra has never been this fun before. I can literally, like, do loop-de-loops. This is messing with my FPS, so I'm gonna turn off my shaders. Look at that. Look at how cool this is. Yeah, you can kind of see Distant Horizons glitching out a little bit, but that's fine. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think you're really meant to use 8 render distance with Distant Horizons with an elytra, but like, you could just move around like you're actually piloting a ship, and it's so much fun to just do this. It is easier to die, it does just make using elytra harder, but it's so much fun to just move around like this. Whoosh. Oh, whoops, okay. But anyways, this is why I never want to play vanilla again, because modded Minecraft, just using like vanilla plus mods that enhance quality of life and performance and visuals, just make the game so much nicer to play in basically every context. The game is just more fun when you're not playing vanilla. You could argue that a lot of these mods would hurt your experience because they feel like cheating or they feel like not the intended experience, and that's fine. You can just not use those mods. But things like mouse tweaks or a couple of the bundle features or like the accurate block placement thing, it doesn't take away anything from the experience, and it just makes it purely better. And there's so many mods like that. And I'm just going to keep playing modded Minecraft forever because it's just better in like every way. Anyways, that's my video. Bye bye.